You're going to ban a steak knife? How am I going to eat my fucking steak?
Yeah.
You better be able to tenderize that shit where I can cut it with a spoon.
You can't ban things that are like utensils.
And everybody uses Australia as their main. Oh, look at Australia! They banned their guns and they haven't had a mass shooting and so on and so on. I was like, yeah. They banned their guns. I was like, and you know the people that gave them up, the people that lived in the cities. I was like, because if you talk to anybody who lives in the backwoods of Australia, none of them motherfuckers gave up their guns.
Yeah, no.
They got fucking 9 of the 10 deadliest snakes. They got fucking crocodiles,
Yeah,
giant
you need
kangaroos
that
that can rip your stomach open. You need a fucking firearm in Australia.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't in the fucking city, where you're not going to, you're not going to encounter these animals as much. But no, it's ridiculous.
Well, what was it? I'm not 100% sure if this is a true statement, but I remember reading something where it said, like, I think it was like Switzerland or something, where they like require all of their citizens to own a gun, and they have like the least amount of shootings.
Switzerland, Switzerland, you have to do 2 years military service.
You have to. Okay.
You have to.
Yeah.
Even though Switzerland has not been in a war, doesn't
but
go
don't
to
they
war.
require all of their citizens to own a gun?
You can. You're allowed to. All this, once you do your military training, you're allowed to. You can keep your firearm and you can carry it with you if you want to, but you're not required. But there is a county in Georgia that is required. You're required to own a firearm.
Maybe
if you
that's
live
what
in
I heard.
Yeah, it's Kennesaw County in Georgia. It's been like that. It's been like that for over 20 something years. And I think last year was the first time they've had a firearm killing and the person committed suicide.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like they have the lowest crime rate in the county, in the state of Georgia, and almost in the United States. There's no murders. There's no rapes.
Yeah.
There's no fucking armed. There's no people running in your house robbing people because everybody's got a gun.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like people are going to be people.
An armed society
There's always
is a
going to
civil
be
society.
terrible people.
Of course.
So, like, banning guns is only going to give the terrible people a leg up.
They're still going to have them.
They'll still have them, yeah. They'll still have them, and they'll still be terrible people. But let's say we even banish guns entirely from the entire world. No more guns. Now those terrible people have a leg up. Because the innocent people have no way to defend themselves against what these people are going to do.
And even my biggest argument with the gun control people is it's 2018. I don't need to go to a fucking firearm store to build a gun. All I need is a computer and a 3D printer, and it'll build it right in my fucking house.
Done. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll have it done in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Less. And I can make it out of metal. It doesn't have to be plastic because they sell those metal strips now that the 3D printer melts down and uses.
Yep.
I'm like, so there's nothing you're going to do.
Yeah, no, it's a stupid debate, and I almost feel like it's a debate that's just like supposed to be drawing our attention for whatever else they're doing over here on the side.
Of course,
like,
well, it always is.
And then all of a sudden, a law will get passed about something else that we didn't even know was a discussion. You know,
it always. Well, it's just like when Obama was president, and he did one executive order on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve night, and he did the other one on New Year's night. And at that particular time, there was something else going on that everybody was focused on, and nobody focused on the fact that this guy just signed the fucking, was it the NDAA order or whatever it was? I don't remember.
There's a couple times.
Yeah, and it's like nobody gives a shit about that, but
yeah,
you know, we're all focused on this stupid shit that happened over here. I just think I think everybody's just. The sensitivity level of people has become so heightened because
it's a joke.
It's a joke. Like
it's a freaking joke.
You can't.
Like
can't
everything is everything now. Like I'm all for like equality. Like don't get me
absolutely.
wrong. I'm all for equality, but honestly, like there's a line. There's a freaking line where you're not going to be equal to somebody else in like okay. So like let's say like you know whatever. Like we're all equal. We all have the same rights. Right?
Yeah.
But, like, men and women we could take, for example. Like, women don't have any business, like, in a boxing ring with a male boxer.
No.
Like, they're just not equal on that level. So, certain things like that, they need to kind of, like, understand their place. You know? Like, I don't think that girls should be allowed in the Boy Scouts. I think all that is doing is kind of, like... Basically, now how all these women are like accusing all these men of like sexual acts. Now they're just going to be able to do it to younger men, so they could get that. You know, like I'm not saying that they would do that, but that's like another way where I feel like now you have the group campouts, right?
Yeah.
Now what's going to go on in those campouts when you have teenagers sleeping at night You know,
Of
like,
course, they're
and
gonna be
then
sneaking off with each other and
then
this
they
and
can
that.
just, if they get caught, then the woman claims that, oh, he did this to me. But
Yeah.
so how is that right? Then there's not equal rights there, because the men can never accuse the woman of coming on to them.
Absolutely
that
not.
wouldn't work.
See this? I actually posted something about that on Facebook, and I got a little bit of heat for that. And my explanation for this was, you have the Girl Scouts. If you're going to make it just the Scouts, then the Girl Scouts need to disband too.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they're a cookie company now. Okay, but that's not what they were founded as.
Yeah.
The Boy Scouts were founded to teach young men how to go out into the wilderness and survive. The Girl Scouts, when they were created, were the exact same thing. It was the counterpart to the Boy Scouts. Now, even though they're two different foundations, they were created to do that. The cookie selling was for funding, to help the kids get equipment and shit like that, to do, or go on their camping trips. Because your foundation became corrupted, and now as a fucking business, you're going to turn around and make the corporation that is running it the way you want it to be run, and make them change. And that was I was like, I don't really care if boys and girls go camping together. You know what? You could separate them. You could put them on two different sides of the lake. I mean, if they want to find themselves, they're going to find themselves. They're going to find each other anyway. I have no problem, and I have no problem with girls being taught the same way boys are taught. I'm going to teach when I go upstate and I go in the woods, whatever I teach my son, my daughter's going to learn too. It's not going to be any. So I have no problem with that. I have the problem with the fact that you're making one corporation change their way that they run because you want your corporation to be run that way, and they're not doing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're trying to infiltrate something that's being
and you're
run
hiding it
properly.
behind sexism and toxic masculinity.
That's the problem.
That's what you're saying. Oh, well,
that's
it's
the problem.
It's sexist and it's toxic
We're
masculinity.
the enemy because we're men. We're the enemy.
Yeah, and it's like, no, it's not toxic masculinity. It's not. You're teaching these kids are learning how to sew. They're learning how to build a fire. They're learning how to whittle, how to follow the sun north, where to find water. I was like, these are survival things. These are things that people may not necessarily need now, but it's still good to have, because you never know what the fuck's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Too many people are so wrapped up in the fact that we have technology. We're smarter than this. We don't need this stuff. Technology could be gone in a second.
And then what?
One electronic magnetic pulse over the United States. We don't have electricity for fucking 25 years. Then what?
Done. Yeah.
Then what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I know what I'm going to do, because I trained for this shit.
Yeah.
I was a conspiracy theorist for a long time. And I know what's going to happen. Within the first 3 months, you're going to have a mass population of deaths. Because people are going to start running out of food and water, and they're going to start fucking fighting with each other, and I'm going to be sitting here in my cozy little home waiting for all that to happen. Yeah. And then once everybody's fucking dead and the people who knew what the fuck they were doing are alive, I'm going to pop out of my house and go, okay, now we got to start all over. So what are we going to do?
Yeah.
What are we going to do now?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Antifa is going to be sitting there fucking eating themselves.
But no, it's true, man. It's like everything. This is part of it too, because everybody wants to be created equal, but they'll shout at us for this, and that. But when it comes down to certain things, then it's like, oh, well, you can't hit me back if I hit you. You know, there's all that crap. You know, it's
even my wife was disturbed when we had our daughter. It said, "What
too
gender
much.
is
it's getting to be too much?
What gender on the birth certificate?" It said, "What gender is the baby?" I wrote down the gender, and then the next line underneath is, "What gender do you recognize the baby to be?" My wife was like, "The gender it was born."
Yeah,
I'm not picking the child's gender. If the child decides in 20 years that she wasn't meant to be a fucking girl, knock on wood, I don't want anybody to have to go through that. I think that's a hard place to be in mentally. But she's like, we'll recognize her for whatever she wants to be. And I agree with that. Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking decide now. I see these parents that got 7-year-olds that got them on hormones to make them a girl or a boy. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's kid's a kid. The kid doesn't really know.
The kid doesn't.
Yeah.
My 7-year-old thinks he's a girl, so he doesn't know the difference.
I mean, when they're that young, it could just be that they're homosexual and don't know how to process it because they have different thoughts.
They could be that.
You know,
they could be around. All their cousins could be girls. They could be around sisters.
Yeah.
And no male
well, there was
figures in
that
their life.
other study too, where the kid wanted to be a girl because his little sister was getting more attention than him, and he thought that being a girl would get
him
more attention from his parents.
Yeah.
So it's like a mental thing.
Yeah.
I think like the mental has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, and surrounding. I mean, people tend to forget your surroundings and how you were raised and what was around you all your life has a lot to do with the way that you're gonna think.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, to me, I came from a divorced household. I was raised by a single parent. I saw my dad every couple of weeks for a day or two.
Same.
And so divorce to me, because I watched what my mother went through being a divorcee back, it was very frowned upon. You did not get good reactions as a divorced woman in the 70s and the 80s and even early 90s. And now it's like a trend. Oh, it's cool. You get married, you get divorced.
It's like any other relationship in the marriage.
I don't pull that shit.
No, I don't.
And I discussed that with my wife before we ever got married. I was like, we're not getting divorced. I was like, unless obviously anybody cheats or is constantly cheating, you're divorced. I was like, but we're not getting divorced over arguments. You stick this through the end. I was like, if my grandparents
that's
could do
what marriage is.
Yeah, if my grandparents could do it,
yeah,
we can do it.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not. I was like, there's no such thing as quitting. I was like, if you're married, you have to work at it. It's not. It's just like anything else.
Yeah.
You can't get on a job, start doing the job.
No relationship will ever be perfect.
No.
It'll never be perfect. Every relationship will have its ups and downs. It'll have like the flares, and then they'll die out. And it's up to you to work to bring that back
to
up.
work at it, and you have to keep each other interested in each other. And it's not easy. It's work, and that's what I told someone recently. They asked me about that, and they're like, "Are you unhappy?" I'm like, "Am I unhappy in my marriage?" I was like, "Yeah, sometimes I'm unhappy." I was like, "But I'm never to the point that I want to divorce my wife." I was like, sometimes we have bad days, sometimes we have good days. I was like, I still love my wife at the end of the day. I was like, me and my wife have built a fucking empire together. Like, we own a house, we have fucking kids. We've done a lot of things that neither one of us.
Yeah, you don't just throw that
out the fucking window because
you have an argument about something.
They're like, "Oh, you ever think about being with other women?" I'm like, not really. I love my wife. I was like, yeah, I see a woman that's hot. I was like, and yeah, I may imagine, oh, what would it be? I was like, well, what's going to be the difference? Yeah. I was like, every relationship I've been in has been the fucking same.
Between thinking about it and then going to do it.
Yeah, but I was like, what's the difference between
we're
what
all
that
humans.
woman has?
We're going to have those thoughts.
What's the difference between what that woman has and what my wife has to offer to me? I was like, it's all the same. I was like, really, it's when you're first attracted to somebody, it's physical anyway.
That's all it is.
And eventually you get over the physicality of each other, and it's like, if you don't like each other's personality or you don't like each other's bad habits, it ain't gonna fucking work out.
Yeah.
I was like, me and my wife tolerate each other's bullshit. I was like, so why would I give that up? Yeah. You don't know if you're gonna find that with somebody else. It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. I was like, why would I complain? My wife lets me do what the fuck I want.
Yeah,
I'm doing comedy. I got kids at home. Like, she doesn't sit there and bitch at me. Like, oh, fucking comedy. I go to open mics 2-3 nights a week. She doesn't complain. She's 100% behind me. And before she was pregnant, she was coming to all my comedy shows.
Yeah,
and supporting me. I was like, so what? Why? Why would I put that in jeopardy?
Yeah,
you know how hard it is to find people that'll support your dream.
Yeah,
I was like, I dated a girl for 8 years that hated the fact that I was doing music. She didn't. Anytime I went to the studio, she bitched and moaned. If I had a show, she bitched and moaned, and it was a fucking fight all the time.
Yeah, that's no way to live.
I was like, there's no way to live.
That's when that's grounds for something not working.
Deletion.
Out. Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna swipe the other way now. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Well, people don't get it. They just think they can get married, and if it doesn't work out, we get divorced. And I'm like, I'm highly against divorce.
I'm highly against it too. Listen, I have 2 kids. I've been with the same girl for 11 years, and we just got married last year.
Yeah, see, me and my wife, when we got together, it was never our intentions to get married. And we always agreed that we could have kids, we could be a family, we could buy a house, we could do all that together without ever having to be married. Unfortunately, the state of New York does not agree. If you want certain perks of being with a person, you have to get married. I couldn't get her on my medical when we were trying to buy a house.
Or if you do, then they charge you like a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. My company straight up said we do not do domestic
partners.
Yeah. I was like, okay, but I'm not gay. Like, that doesn't have anything to do with it. I'm like, I thought that's what that was. They're like, no, a domestic partner is anybody that lives with you. And
yeah, like when I was like a couple of years back, I used to work for a company that did domestic partnership, insurance, health insurance. And what they would do was they would hit you twice with it. So it was $600 a month.
God damn.
To get that person added to your insurance.
That's too much.
So this is what they did. It was like
they would Cobra insurance for that price.
This is what they would do. They would add the $600 a month to your paycheck like it was income.
Okay.
And then take that income tax it, and then subtract the $600 back out.
So you're paying $100 and change for the